Cheers!
Cheers! Happy 50th episode.
Wow.
I know.
I never thought we'd even get the first one out.
And yet here we are. 50 episodes along. Get my teeth in.
Still locked down.
Yeah, in exactly the same position really, aren't we?
Next week though, we might be tier 2.
We might be tier 2.
If they're going to tie up tier 2 with anything, I really hope it's Wonder Woman 1984 coming out.
I know, I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking it doesn't really matter if we're tier 2, tier 3. We've been in our own tier 3 for such a long time. And then I remembered that Wonder Woman 1984 was coming out. And then I saw the initial reviews for Wonder Woman 1984.
I've not seen anything.
Well, let me say that they are good.
Okay.
Let's just say that. Rather than seeing reviews going, oh, it's dreadful, and then feeling a bit better, like, oh, well, we don't want to go and see the pictures anyway. The reviews are good.
Should I be concerned that, we're not bothered about the pubs reopening, we're not bothered about going to restaurants, we're bothered about...
I mean, we kind of are. I am.
Wonder Woman 1984.
I'm still bothered about the pubs not being open and not going to restaurants, just to be that clear. But our focus at the moment is, when can we go to the pictures?
When can we go see Gal Gadot running about in her very nice pants and things?
I don't... Are you thinking of, the 70s TV show?
Yes, probably.
You are, yeah. I don't think she just wears little pants now, love. I think she has, full costumes.
It's more to pay.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the final version because I had things to say, didn't I, about Kristen Wiig's look in the trailer. The CG didn't look particularly great at the time, and it was an early trailer.
Yeah.
But it was the second one, so I think at the time I was thinking, well, hang on a minute, this is your second trailer. Get it sorted. But yeah, I'd like to see how that manifests itself in the final version.
I think these effects shots run to almost to the day that the film's released.
Unless you cats.
Yeah, well, even further beyond that, yeah.
So I'd like to see that as well. Now, remind me, that was a slap your thigh moment. That remind me, yes. Mark. So we, in the UK, we could see it in the cinema for a month. Am I right? From something like the 16th of December, something like that?
We can see it at the cinemas for as long as it is available for.
All right, because I had heard that, I was about to say on the grapevine, but then again, that sort of indicates that someone's whispering things in my ear. Yeah. I'd read somewhere that it would be available in the cinemas for a month, and then it would go on a streaming service.
That is rumoured at the minute. There is no confirmation of that. But whilst we're on it, shall we move on to what Warner Brothers have done?
Well, I think that's going to be the main point of the podcast, isn't it?
Yes.
After work. I was thinking, what should we talk about in after work drinks? But actually, the only thing we haven't talked about this week is what has happened to streaming services. Go on, start us off.
So Warner Brothers announced, like many things earlier in the year, that Wonder Woman would be going on their streaming service HBO Max in the US on Christmas Day.
Which, remind me again, we don't have that here, do we?
No.
It would just go on Sky or something like that?
Well, no, HBO is a brand in its own right. They have a licensing deal for a lot of things with Sky Atlantic, but some things go on to Sky Atlantic, some original films go on to Sky Cinema. I suspect, well, we'll come on to that in a little bit. But yes, at this point we don't have HBO Max and it all goes through Sky at this point.
Okay.
Everyone sort of understood the reasons why. People were disappointed.
Yeah.
And then last week, the news just broke that they were launching all their 2021 films exclusively on HBO Max. So that includes The Matrix 4. That includes Dune.
Is it Godzilla vs. Kong as well?
Godzilla vs. Kong.
I saw a tweet saying, oh, where else would you like to see Godzilla versus Kong? A small screen. To get the point.
It also has The Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that on an earlier After Work Drinks, didn't we? We went through all the characters in inverted commas on the trailer.
Yes. Polka Dot Man.
John Cena's in it.
Yes.
Just reminded himself.
Yeah. Is that a selling point for you?
Yeah, I think it probably is.
And I think a lot of the reaction I saw was film critics losing their shit at this.
Yeah, absolutely. Film Twitter was not happy.
No. I am philosophical about this.
Yeah.
In that let's not get sniffy about this. This is absolutely brilliant for consumers.
Well, consumers of the small screen, not consumers of film, I don't think. You know, you want to go in and have that film experience.
Cinemas are still going to be showing this.
Okay.
They're still going to be available in cinemas.
Oh, right, okay, right.
I mean, a lot of cinemas
I
probably
thought it was
won't...
that they wouldn't have anything, that they would just be on the small screen and that would be it.
A lot of cinemas probably will choose not to show them because it doesn't make business sense if people can watch it at home. But they are still available for people in cinemas. I mean, for me, I think there's three people who lose out on this. The first one is the stars of the film. I think it's interesting that Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins were given apparently $10 million each to be positive on social media about Wonder Woman 1984 coming to
HBO.
Yeah. And now there is a growing range of stars such as Keanu Reeves. Who's the girl from Suicide Squad?
Oh, I've heard someone just talking about her today as well. Australian. I'm just going to shout around. I want to say something to do with M.
Yeah, I want to say M as well.
Maggie or something, but it's not Maggie.
Margot Robbie.
That's it.
Margot Robbie. I'll just say that so that you can edit in smoothly and we don't look like idiots. Margot Robbie and others are queuing up to say, well, if they're getting this money, where's ours? Because these big stars were people who signed contracts whereby they get a nice fee, but they also get a percentage over a certain amount.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm not going to lose any sleep over millionaires losing out on millions more.
Absolutely, yeah. But it's more, I'm thinking more of the crew and the people who work on the films and the people behind the scenes that aren't necessarily paid those amounts.
They won't be paid.
I know they won't have I know they won't have the deal that you're talking about. I know you're talking about like a percentage of the profit from the film, but I'm still thinking about them in terms of they've made that film to be shown on the big screen. I thought that it was just going to be on the telly. I didn't appreciate that it would also be shown at the cinema. So people like you and I, if we're allowed, can make a decision.
The second people who I think are losing out here are the film investors. Now, again, this is millionaires losing out on millions of... But these are the people that are putting forward the money for films to be made in the first place.
Okay.
There's talk that Legendary Pictures put forward 75% of the budget for Godzilla versus Hong Kong. Yeah, Godzilla versus King. We're very tired. I'll just put that out there.
Usual disclaimer, everyone. We're very tired.
Yeah, put forward 75% of the money. Netflix apparently came in and said that offered $250 million for the movie.
Right.
To show it on Netflix.
To show it on Netflix.
And Warner Brothers vetoed that deal, and then are putting it on themselves.
Right.
And if these people are putting forward money, I think Warner Brothers will be able to fund these films themselves, and Disney will, but will it be other smaller studios who lose out if they just decide investing in film is not for them if someone can pull the rug out for them?
Absolutely. There's always the little people that lose out in all of these sorts of things, isn't it?
And then the people who I feel most for are the cinemas. I don't want anyone to lose their jobs over this.
Absolutely.
And they will if they are taking away the big budget. I mean, Warner Brothers don't have massive box offices. I mean, they've probably got a couple of $1 billion films in their history, but this will hurt film cinemas. Cinemas will close because of this.
Yeah.
If this carries on in the UK, we won't be living in a world where we've got 6 multiplexes.
Yeah. Because we have so much choice of where we can go.
You know, it's going to be the bad ones that lose out. There is still going to be a market for cinemas. And it might just be that they're premium. And it might just be that you're not paying a $5 like we are at a local Odeon or View. It might be that it's 12 quid. And it might be that it's sort of gentrified.
Right.
And
which we're seeing already with the Everyman cinemas. That's just come into Newcastle where we are. And that's, you're paying something like £20, aren't you? But you're getting sort of a cocktail with it. And
I mean, there is a price that I will pay, premium, for going in, getting a proper nice pint of
night out
of craft beer rather than a pint of Foster's or something, and some nice food rather than paying £3 for a pack of Maltesers that you'd get for £1 at Tesco down the road. There is a price on that, and the best example I've said of someone gentrifying thing is look what's happened to vinyl. You know, vinyl's become, from something that was an old-fashioned thing, it's now become a premium thing. And you know, I looked up just to see how much, because I don't partake in this. I've got a Spotify account, and that's the last thing I bought. But yeah, like the Killer's Greatest Hits, which is one of the big compilations that's out this year. You can get it on CD for £8, but it's £30 for the vinyl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've got a Charles and Diana official vinyl from the wedding upstairs.
I'm going to say Charles and Eddie.
No, I mean, that would be brilliant.
Would I lie to you?
Would I lie to you? Probably.
These aren't the kind of games I play.
No, I found it upstairs. I think I'd bought it years ago when I thought it would be worth something.
Yeah.
It isn't worth anything.
Yes, yeah. But going back to cinemas, I think this is going to be a case of I would hope it's a case of the good cinema sticking by. I don't think our local independent cinemas are gonna struggle, because they're not the sort of people that would show the Suicide Squad and stuff like that. Obviously, there is a worry down in the future where if independent films go more online, and I think there is an argument too, purely for accessibility. But I think if cinemas continue having a nice experience, people are still going to go to a good cinema.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for people who are going to lose their jobs on this, because they will.
Yeah, and something we said before, wasn't it, when it first happened? I just didn't think that we would be here still having this conversation 50 episodes in.
And frankly, if it keeps dickheads out of the cinema who want to play with a phone and have a chat all the way through, it's not such a bad
always
thing.
up for that.
Yeah.
And also, you know, just being able to go out to the cinema one by one, like we normally do.
Yeah.
Passing our child over in the car park.
Like a baton. Yeah.
That would be great. I'd really enjoy quite doing that again.
So there are rumours about what's going to happen in the UK.
Right.
Warner Brothers are currently in negotiations with Sky about Wonder Woman. There is rumours that it will get a month-long cinematic run in the UK, which I think is where you might have been getting mixed up.
Right, okay.
And then go to Sky, either on Sky Cinema or on a premium
thing.
VOD. If we can't get to it, Wonder Woman is a film I would pay for.
Yeah, I agree. I would as well. If we're not allowed out to the cinema, for example, I would pay for it.
Unless anyone at Sky is listening to this, in which case I will only watch it if it's on Sky Cinema, which I already subscribe to. So don't be getting any ideas.
I bet they're listening.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is huge. I mean, they say it's for 2021. Yeah. I don't think anyone's under any illusions that it's going to stay like this.
I completely agree.
If there's success for them, I don't see how they're making the maths work, but I suspect they've thought about this more than I have, and it looks at the sums closer than that. By all accounts, the launch of HBO Max has been a bit of a disaster, because
I heard that.
There's 3 different HBO streaming services now. There's HBO Go, HBO Now, and HBO Max.
HBO behind, HBO
up. HBO 2 Electric Boogaloo. But they want this to be their flagship service, and it covers a lot of Warner Brothers' back catalogue, which, I mean, they've got a wide range of films in there, so, you know, if you can do that and then entice people in with the new stuff and they stay for the old stuff, or entice people in with the old stuff and they stay for the new stuff.
I remember at the time when we first had Netflix and then we got Amazon Prime, and I remember thinking, oh, that's too much. Why do we need 2 streaming services? And I went on at you, didn't I, saying we should just pick one and just have one.
Yeah.
And even our friends at the time, I don't think they even had Netflix. I think we were quite early adopters. And again, like trying to explain to them that we had like not just one streaming service but another, felt like a bit of an idiot, to be quite honest with you. And then when we started to get more, you know, we've got more and more and more. And then when they started doing Disney Plus, and I just lost it. And I was like, there's no way we're going to get that. There is no need for all these streaming services. But then having seen from an industry perspective how well Disney Plus has done, I can totally understand how other streaming services are now coming up, because now it's starting to become that you have a suite of streaming services, which I never anticipated. I just thought you would have one and everything would go to that one. But that's not how we're doing things now.
Well, I mean, they are sort of bundling other things in with them. We get Netflix with our Sky. We get Amazon is part of the service where I can get pants delivered the next day if I need them. There's only really Disney, which is a sort of
Yeah.
standalone service that we pay for
I suppose now you even get Spotify with your bank account or stuff
I
like
get
that.
Spotify
don't
with
you?
my mobile phone. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly it.
So I suppose that's how we're going to see it. It'll be part of a package going forwards, but it does get expensive, and there comes a time where you think, do I have to have all these things, or is it worth it?
Well, I think this might be what's happened with HBO Max. I think people have just said, why I'm not paying extra for that. I pay for HBO, I'm not paying an extra, I think it's an extra $5 a month for HBO Max.
And yet, if you get Wonder Woman 1984 come on, you might subscribe for a month, a bit like we did with Disney Plus.
And if you've got a big film coming out every year, Judas and the Black Messiah is one of the films that's going on there. And I know that's
really
film
want to see that.
you're really excited about.
Really, it's that trailer. I'd give the Oscar to the trailer.
I would recommend you watch Widows first.
Okay.
'Cause I think you'd get a lot out of Widows.
Okay.
And you look at Apple Plus, that's...
Yeah.
I've not heard anyone talk about anything. I've heard maybe one or two people speak about Ted Lasso.
Oh, that rings a bell.
It's
Probably from the American podcast we listened to.
Yeah, it's about an American guy coming over and being a football manager.
I think I've heard it on some of the other podcasts.
But I've not heard of anyone say anything.
And
else
I just would not. I think if you said to her, let's get that, I think I would have strong views.
Well, everyone with an iPhone gets it free, and I'm still not hearing people talk about it.
Oh, right, I didn't know that.
So yeah, if you've got an iPhone,
and you get it for free.
Yeah, get it for free. Yeah,
and tell us what you think.
Yeah. Going back to Disney, they've had a busy night,
haven't they just? And again, film Twitter absolutely losing their mind last night and still into this morning. There's some people who are still writing in capitals, and I didn't really understand what was happening, and I've been really, really busy, and my mind's been all over the shop. And then you told me a little bit about what was happening this morning, and then this afternoon I started to read The Guardian, like our newspaper, The Guardian. It's not our newspaper.
Our newspaper.
Why would I say that? I'm so tired. It's just coming out with all sorts.
We are as featured in The Guardian, so maybe we are.
I'm just thinking, because we were. We were. The podcast was featured in The Guardian, so maybe I do feel a sense of affinity to The Guardian. Anyway, I was reading The Guardian, and there was a whole bit about what was happening with Disney, and my mind was blown because you told me a bit of it in the car this morning. I went, not really listening, and then I saw. Yeah, you're welcome. And then I saw exactly what they were going to be pumping out. I mean, they're going to be very busy. But busy with things that I'm kind of going, I have no interest in this whatsoever.
So can I be the first to say I'm bored of Star Wars already?
Yeah.
By the 87 shows that are out there.
Oh, God.
I mean, I felt the same about The Mandalorian, to be fair, so...
I didn't. I thought that was a standalone. It was something different. It's got a very different tone. It's got the whole Western thing. It's 30 minutes, and it was the one thing. Now they're going back into the prequels. Hayden Christensen's coming back to play
that.
Darth Vader with Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. Now that was mooted quite a while ago, and then they stopped production, didn't they? I don't even know if they even got into production, but something happened on that show where they said the scripts just weren't right. Something wasn't right.
Yes.
And McGregor came out and said he didn't know whether it was going to be going forward, but he hoped that it did, and then it all went quiet. Now they've relaunched it with this idea of Hayden Christensen being back together, and Ewan McGregor's come out today and said that's what's lured him back. That's the promise of getting back with his old pal and having a good old fight with Darth Vader.
I'd rather see Jar Jar Binks.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
No, you wouldn't. No one would.
I've still not forgiven Hayden Christensen for Jumper.
Just...
I mean, I suspect he didn't let the phone ring twice.
No, well, I wouldn't if this came back. Oh, would you like to come back into this role that you did, however many years ago? Yeah, thanks. I'll do that on telly, like with The Mandalorian. All right then.
How many times do you reckon Hayden Christensen hung up thinking this it was someone taking the piss? He's not done much in the past recent years, has he?
I don't know what he's doing.
There you go.
I don't know what he's been doing. I don't know what he's been doing.
Let's look it up. Let's do one of my now trademarked IMDb.
Yeah. But, I'm going to put it out there. Just because he hasn't done anything for a little while doesn't mean that the phone hasn't been ringing. It may be that he's taken a career break.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also taking a career break from Hollywood, just to let you know.
Go on then, what's it say?
So he was in Takers in 2010.
I don't know what Takers is.
So I switched it on one time and saw the cast list, including the best two billed people were Hayden Christensen and Chris Brown.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
switched
right.
that off.
Well, that's 10 years ago.
Vanishing on 7th Street.
Nope.
IMDb rating 4.9. Quantum Quest, a Cassini Space Odyssey.
Oh, no.
He played Jammer, but that was a voice role.
Okay.
5.1.
You don't have to read out all the detail, though.
American Heist. Mm-hmm. That's in 2014, 5.0. Outcast in 2014, 4.6. 90 Minutes in Heaven. Not a football one, no. Yeah, none of these are over 5, by the way, and can see you're bored of me.
I am. I've just turned away.
Waited 2 years. First Kill, 2017. Little Italy, in 2018. Oh, this looks like the worst rom-com ever. Emma Roberts and Hayden Christensen. That gets a 5.7 rating. And then The Last Man last year, that is a 3.7.
Okay.
He's not been busy.
You've made your point. Yeah.
And then his voice in The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. What else are they doing? Come on, remind me, because there were certain ones that I was just like, I'm so not there for this. Oh, they're doing Lando. They're doing Lando, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
doing
I've missed
Lando,
this.
which I don't mind that quite so much, because I do think Donald Glover is a really interesting talent. So that sounds all right. I did see that they were doing Fantastic Four again.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
How can you be fine with it? How can you be fine with it? They've done it a million times. It's never gone right. It went really wrong last time with Josh Trank, didn't it?
It did, but this is under the MCU. When it's...
Do we care? Do we care about the man with the stretchy arms? Do we care about the woman that goes a bit invisible? Do we care?
Care if it's Jessica Alba.
Yeah, fair enough. But
I have faith in them. They haven't really... They've only at worst made like a 3-star film.
I just don't care.
The ones with...
Don't care.
I'm going to butcher this name.
Oh, go on.
Ian Griffith?
Okay. I mean, I think you have butchered it, but I'm not going to give it another go because I will do worse. But yeah.
And
is it Ewan?
Ewan Griffith?
Yeah.
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 And Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
And the bloke from...
The Australian guy. Kyle someone, is his name?
No, the bloke. No? It was the bloke from The Shield. The bald guy played the Thing.
Oh, is his name Michael?
Yes. Michael C.
I don't know.
And then you know who the other person in that was?
No.
Chris Evans.
Oh, of course. Yeah. He
Bring
rides a
that back.
motorbike and things.
Bring the cast back. That'll be confusing.
I'm not a big fan of Fantastic Four, just generally as a concept. But yeah, I was just like, why? Why are we doing all these old things when we could be moving on?
Because they've run out of everything.
But isn't there 400? Am I right in this? There's 400 shows that they have that they've said are going to be released over the next few years.
Almost certainly not.
Okay, have I read that wrong then?
Um,
I'm sure I read that it was like that 400 ideas or concepts or shows have been released for the next few years.
I've typed Disney and 400 in here, and there doesn't appear to be anything.
Okay. Maybe someone said, like, as a joke, that there were 400 ideas, and I've taken that as absolute fact.
That's very on brand for you.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm quite interested by the Patty Jenkins Top Gun in an X-Wing.
Yeah, you were talking to me about the trailer this morning. Do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, Patty Jenkins, it wasn't so much a trailer, it was her just explaining, it was her on rollerblades, oddly, stopping at a car, taking off her rollerblades and explaining her dad was a pilot, he was killed in action in the American Air Force.
Okay.
And she's always been looking for a fighter pilot movie, but never found the right project. And then she put her helmet on and said, but now I think I have, and the helmet is an X-Wing helmet, and she walks towards a plane, which is actually an X-Wing.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and, if she gets screwed by Warner Brothers for money, then, Disney can get her.
I think it's interesting that Taika Waititi is doing a Star Wars something as well. So I think he's written or is writing a screenplay for another film, but I don't know what that is.
Okay.
It's an interesting talent.
You've also got Indiana Jones. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. So I'm looking forward to when that comes out. It's 2022, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, I think I'm saying it because I think I read it.
Okay.
I think I read that it was 2022. Chris will be able to tell us. So yeah, Harrison Ford coming back for his fifth and final instalment of Indiana Jones. So let's hope it's a little bit better than Crystal Skull. Sorry, Chris. And then when it is out, hopefully we'll be able to go back in the cinema, and then we'll get Chris on as our resident Indiana Jones expert to come and talk to us about it.
But then we've got next year. We have got Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Don't care about that.
Now has a trailer.
Don't care.
When I'm going to be watching it.
Okay.
A new WandaVision trailer, which looks
That's intriguing.
amazing.
Yeah, that is intriguing. We've talked about that before, haven't we?
Yes. There is Loki.
Again, not bothered. Will you be watching all of these?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
We haven't got enough time. There's not enough time to watch all these shows, surely.
Challenge accepted. What If?
I don't know.
So this is this is one that might be missed. It's an animated show which is okay, so what if this happened? You know, like the episode of Friends where it was like, what if Chandler was a comic book writer? What if Monica didn't lose weight?
Yes.
It's kind of, as I understand it, it's kind of like that.
Okay.
So there is the film Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Even people I know who read a lot of comics have never read Shang-Chi.
Okay.
It's largely a Eastern Asian cast. It's the same director that did Short Term 12 and Just Mercy last year. Michelle Yeoh's in it, Awkwafina's in it. So there's some really good people who are really enjoying there.
All right. So yeah, I much prefer something like that I haven't heard of, that brings something new.
Miss Marvel, a newer character to Marvel. No, I'm not interested. But I'll watch it. So why am I... Captain Marvel 2's been announced.
Yeah.
The Eternals has been announced.
See, again, not bothered.
Well, that's directed by someone who is favourite for the Oscar this year.
Oh, all right.
Is it called Nerdling?
I don't know.
No, is that Louise's last name? There's Hawkeye, which is now filming. Haley Steinfeld's signed up for that, which is interesting.
Okay.
She-Hulk.
So forgive me while I just yawn in a corner at the long list of things that I don't care about.
Moon Knight. All I know about Moon Knight is that she was on the Marvel superheroes top trumps I had when I was a kid.
So I am excited. I have to say, right, I'm going to interject, is that I am excited for people who are excited for these things. If these things excite you, then I'm really happy. But when I find it just so overwhelming. It's probably just a personality flaw. But when things are just announced in this massive, massive group, it's like a huge sensory overload for me, and I just cannot cope with it, and I just want to bat them all away. Apart from the one reboot that I heard of today that made me laugh out loud when I was sitting in a car park going through the list. And that is Zac Efron's reboot of Three Men and a Baby. That's the TV show we need these days.
I really hope there's a ghost behind a curtain.
I'm sure that was in the second one, Three Men and a Little Lady.
No, it's Three Men and a Baby.
Is it?
Yeah.
I won't watch it because I'm scared of the ghost.
You know it's not a ghost.
I know it's a cardboard cutout, but I don't like it when that scene comes on.
I'm going to get a cardboard cutout and put it behind a curtain.
Please don't.
Woo.
Do you know if it's going to be a TV? I'm presuming it's going to be a TV show, but is it going to be a film or a TV? You don't. You're looking at me like, please don't ask me that question.
Zac Efron doing Three Men and a Baby. Yeah. I'm sold, whatever it is.
Who are the other people? Who's Steve Guttenberg?
It's actually Steve Guttenberg and Tom Selleck.
No, it isn't.
No, of course it's not.
Oh God, you totally had me. Okay. I was thinking, wow, they're coming back.
Yeah, can you imagine that? The poster. Just Steve Guttenberg, Tom Selleck and Zac Efron.
Yes, I can.
Just playing the Ted Danson role.
Really can.
Yeah, the same baby as before.
Stop it. The same ghost.
Yes. It's actually going to be just going to stick a picture of Zac Efron's face over the cardboard cutout of Ted Danson.
My cheeks are hurting too much from laughing. I think that might be a good point to wrap up.
Okay.
Unless you want to shout some more random TV/film titles at me that I don't care about.
No, but we do just need to do a bit of housekeeping.
Oh, do we?
We were very honoured to be invited on the movie Robcast recently.
Oh, we were. Oh, well done, Mark. Well done for remembering.
Yes, I'm professional when I want to be. So we spoke about Jaws and our memories of Jaws, our favourite scenes of Jaws. It's the 45-year anniversary of Jaws. Yeah. It's a proper podcast, so please don't look less fondly at ours when you listen to this.
Yeah, like that. It's an actual proper podcast with proper film people. The two Robs from the movie Robcast are wonderful, lovely, lovely people, dead professional, and actually know what they're talking about. Yeah. So we were like a bit surprised, but also delighted to be invited on and to talk about Jaws in our own unique way.
We had so much fun. Thank you, Robs, if you're listening. But yeah, please give it a listen. It's on everything, I think. Everywhere. Yeah. If you found this podcast, you'll be able to find theirs, I think.
Just look up the movie Robcast. They're on Apple Podcasts. They're on all the podcasting things.
But please, when you listen to what a well-produced podcast sounds like, please come back.
Please come back.
Yes. But thank you for being with us for 50 episodes.
Yeah, thanks everyone. I can't believe 50.
And
wow.
What we're going to do for the 100th?
Half-century.
Live show at the Royal Albert Hall?
Yeah, go on. We said that, didn't we? On episode, was it episode 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, that's it. When the Royal Albert Hall is back open again.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll fill every seat in the back.
Only if it falls down.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
In your satin tights, fighting for your rights, and the old red, white, and blue. Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman.
Before you go, just a reminder that you can subscribe to the Honeymoon Period podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can join in the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for The Honeymoon Pod. Finally, if you like this episode and you think someone else would too, please share it. See you next time.
Get us out from under Wonder Woman.